Royal Tunbridge Wells, a town in the county of Kent, just 30 miles southeast of central London. Tunbridge Wells has a notable music scene with venues like Assembly Hall and the Forum, often cropping up in well-known bands' touring schedules. There's even a TED Talk online about the importance of music in Tunbridge Wells. Not many places can say they've got that. With this much evidence pointing towards Tunbridge Wells being a place that really cares about live music, I decided that its streets look like the ideal place for a busker. So here is how I got on busking in Royal Tunbridge Wells. Alright then. Welcome to Royal, or not Royal, Tunbridge Wells. I'm not sure. I think it's Royal. I'm here to busk, obviously, and before I do, I want to go through the rules with you, if I can find them. So here are the rules for busking in Tunbridge Wells. The rules for busking in Royal Tunbridge Wells. Or should I say, not the rules for busking in Royal Tunbridge Wells. Tunbridge Wells Borough Council's website mentions nothing of street entertainment. Nothing on licenses, permits, no guidelines or advice. Good times. Woo! This is the second time this has happened. You'll notice the same occurred when I was busking in Watford. Now there are plenty of videos of other buskers doing their thing in Tunbridge Wells online. There are news articles about busker success stories. And there's even a picture of buskers in the Tunbridge Wells Borough Council Cultural Strategy 2014 to 2024 leaflet. Woo! So it's clearly something that the council embrace and accept, if not champion a little. Good on you, Tunbridge Wells Borough Council. Good on you. Whilst in Tunbridge Wells, I kept it relatively sensible. I didn't overstay my welcome in pitches, and I kept the volume to a reasonable level. All the standard stuff, and it all seemed to work out. So let's get on with my day in Royal Tunbridge Wells. There were fires in the marshes, there were dates up in the palms. Spot number one. Tunbridge Wells is beautiful. I'd never been there before, and this was my first thought as I got off the train. Aesthetically pleasing with a really friendly, welcoming vibe. For spot one, I headed straight to Calverley Road, which is the main shopping area of the town. It's a pedestrian-only street, which had plenty of foot traffic for a Wednesday in late September. So walk that path to elevate, and might just set you free like the fires. I set up on the east end of the road outside the Metro Bank, as it actually seemed busier than in the centre of the street. Any morning, so as the rest of the world is yawning, we'll walk on by. It also meant that I could try out the west side later on in the day and then have a little comparison. The people of Tunbridge Wells needed no warm-up. From the first chord of the first song, I was getting donations, smiles, dancing, people stopping to listen and watch. They must have all seen the TED Talk. 'Cause in the worst of times, you often find opportunity. I felt relaxed in Tunbridge Wells, which really helped with my energy that I was putting into the set. The way I feel almost always has an impact on how well my busking is being received. And it's a two-way road because the place I'm in has a lot of impact on the way I feel. And Tunbridge Wells has a really cool vibe. In the marshes, like the dates up in the palms. One day this will be a story, so let's try to make it last. At some point during the set, a guy put a old £10 and £5 note in my case. Here in the UK, our banknotes have changed from paper to a more robust plastic over the last few years. I wasn't sure if these paper notes were still valid or could be exchanged in the bank. So I held in my excitement.
Might just set you free.
I cannot stress the importance of spare strings. Always bring spare strings.
And I'm waiting.
The combination of Tunbridge Wells' really friendly vibe, my good energy, and the fact that Tunbridge Wells is relatively small meant I stayed in spot 1 for over 2 hours. Just over.
The angels say she doesn't notice me, 'cause she's watching wrestling.
There was no sign of any other buskers, which was just as well, because it wouldn't take much more than 1 or 2 and the place would be way overcrowded.
You'd be screaming, someone shoot me as I fail miserably, trying to get the girl all the bad guys want.
And it was a great set. I think I'd probably be fine to have stayed even longer. So if you're a busker who prefers to stay set up in one place for the entire day, I don't think you'd have a problem here in Tunbridge Wells. As long as you move if another busker wanted to play too. Always make way for your fellow buskers.
When she walks, all the wind blows and the angels say she doesn't notice me. She's watching wrestling, creaming over tough guys.
No, it's not an advert for Pure Gym. Spot 1, a huge success, but it will be an even bigger success if old notes are still legal tender. If I can change old notes at the bank, it'll be great. A guy gave me an old £5 note and an old £10 note. But regardless of that, it was still really good. The reception here was incredible. A couple things I noticed. One, things got off to a great start straight away. There was no waiting today. 2, people are clearly used to buskers here. An elderly gentleman came up to me and he said that on a Saturday morning there's like regulars called blue, green and white or something. But he said that they're here every Saturday morning, which is cool, but maybe if you're going to come here to busk, don't come on a Saturday morning. The other thing is it's really small here. There doesn't appear to be a whole lot of other spots. The only spots I can sort of see is this street. So I made £49.52. But we're gonna see if we've got legal tender here. Can you change old notes? Oh, you can still change them. Okay, so we've got £64.52. Woo! All right, I'm gonna eat some lunch. I'm gonna chill out, and then I'm gonna play another spot. Perhaps at the end of the road, the other end of the road. I already played the end of the road. Perhaps at the other end of the street that I was just on. Okay, so I am literally down the other end of this street. Cavalier Street, I think it's called. You can actually see where I was stood earlier today. Which kind of gives you an idea that if there was more than just me here playing today, there'd probably be an issue there. So, something to bear in mind when you come into Tunbridge Wells. Luckily, on a quiet midweek day, there's no other buskers around. I haven't seen any anywhere.
Yet in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life.
Spot number 2. As I was setting up in spot number 2, a guy came over and introduced himself. He said he was a local street magician.
Some running by the shelf and good out and good time.
I'd set up on the west end of Calverley Road this time, just outside the shopping centre entrance. The first thing my street magician friend said was, "This spot is rubbish, and you'd be much better to go down the other side of this street." I explained that I'd been there all morning and wanted to vary it up and compare the two. The street magician told me that the other place to busk in Tunbridge Wells is the Pantiles, which are some small pedestrian-only streets to the south of the train station, by the Forum, the music venue. Apparently these are really busy on the weekends, but not so good on the weekdays.
Predictable, in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life.
Actually, the same street. I'm playing the same songs yet. There's literally no response. I'm 7 songs in. No response. Not even smiles anymore. Spot 2 was slow, like really slow. So slow, I was questioning whether I'd spilt something down my shirt, maybe my nose had started bleeding. I was wondering why no one was looking my way. What on earth had changed from the morning?
Now she doesn't give a damn about me, 'cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby.
My street magician friend clearly knew what he was talking about. He actually did give me his business card, which is in itself a magic trick that comes with instructions. What a rad idea. Luckily, things did eventually start to pick up, and my faith in Tunbridge Wells was restored. Even when I'm busking in spots and things aren't being received that well, I still love every single minute. I still can't get over that this is my life. Getting to play music all day and somehow making a living from it. It's just the best thing.
Baby, yeah, just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to your eating maiden, made me with me.
So cool. So grateful. After an hour or so, I decided to finish up and call it a day in Tunbridge Wells. Or Royal Tunbridge Wells, I should say.
No, she doesn't know what she's missing.
I think the only other spot I could have gone to check out was down in the Pantiles, but I took my street magician friend's word for it and decided that this would be better saved for a weekend. I'll have to return one day, maybe the day I'm playing the Forum.
Man, I feel like more. It's 199 and only low and behold.
Okay, here we are. Back at the train station. Okay, a quick roundup of Tunbridge Wells and Spot 2 after this train's passed. So it was good. What a great place. I like it here in Tunbridge Wells. Spot 2 was slower and it definitely started off really slow. I think I made it like 9 songs without anything. Just before I started in Spot 2, a guy did come up to me who was a street magician. This guy gave me his card, which is also a magic trick. That's a cool business card for a magician. He said that that spot isn't very good. He said that the only good spot in the whole of Tunbridge Wells is where I was originally. So, something to bear in mind. Despite that, I did end up making £18.92, which for an hour set is pretty good. Goodbye, train. See you later. So, as I was saying, Tunbridge Wells, great place, whether it's royal or not, I like it. Total for the day I think is somewhere near 80 quid, but my train ticket here was £18.45, so you can minus that. But not a bad day, and if I didn't live so far, or it didn't take so long to get here, I could have done another set and easily rounded that up. One other thing, I did get offered a gig as well, and it did make me think about
Wednesday the 5th or Saturday the 8th of October. Disruption is also likely
Okay, I also got offered a gig at one of the local pubs by a guy, and it did make me think about, you never know what might come of busking. Obviously you get the instantaneous kind of reward of things like donations and people's reaction, but there's also other things that come afterwards, like being offered shows, like getting follows on social media and things, so something to bear in mind. Anyway, let's go. Royal Tunbridge Wells. I can confirm that it is royal. I googled it. It's a great place. It's really friendly, it has such a nice vibe, and clearly has a lot of love for musicians. I think the only thing to bear in mind if you're thinking of busking in Tunbridge Wells is the size of the town. Calverley Road, I think, would probably hold a maximum of 2 buskers. 3 would be too much. And judging by the size of the pantiles on Google Street, I can imagine only 1 busker would fit down there. Just something to bear in mind. Thank you for watching this video. Give it a like, make sure you hit subscribe. Let's make it to 500 subscribers. And if you are a true fan, then turn the notifications on. I make videos every week, they come out on Monday. If you want to, watch the one on the screen or go and check out the others on the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace, love, happiness.